Air signs, are you ready for this? I feel like you've been waiting all week. And I want you guys to sing or cry or jog or like clean your house furiously or whatever it is that you do to release some pent up energy. But for God's sake, I really feel like that doesn't mean abort this new plan that you have, okay? Because, oh no, it must not be right. It's so hard. Anything worth having is hard to do. I'm sorry, but Spirit wants me to say that right now. So air signs, Gemini, Libra, and Aquarius, guilt and shame. Your vibes for the week ahead, guilt and shame. I feel like you feel guilty about the changes that you are making in your life and how that affects other people. All right. This is how I feel. And okay, what is this? Hold on. Spirit is giving me something else. There is an air sign, Gemini, Libra, Aquarius. Please take this as it resonates. It is not for everyone, but it is for someone, and you don't have to own up to it. Spirit wants me to say it. There is someone who is experiencing some kind of domestic abuse. Okay. And they're feeling like they deserve it. It's their fault because I'm a bad person, or I've hurt people, or I'm a drug addict, or I did things in my past or whatever. I deserve this. And you don't. No one deserves any kind of physical abuse. And Spirit wants you to recognize that. And if you need help reaching out to an agency, a trusted friend, some kind of authority, that would be advised, okay? Because I feel how the guilt is weighing on you, or I mess up and then I'm punished, and that's okay because I messed up. But that is not okay. It's not okay. It's not okay for anyone to punish you or for you to fear being punished as an adult. So the rest of the air signs and anyone who that may resonate with, whatever, this is what I feel here. Guilt and shame for wanting better for yourself, for your life, for expanding, for growing, for making changes, for moving in new ways, for not fitting into that same old box that other people think you should. I don't know that about you. How do you stretch outside the comfort zone that I have for you, right? I can see this here, but feeling this guilt and the shame, I can feel how the air signs almost want to shrink back in to that mold. Okay, like, oh, you're right. I shouldn't get that new job that pulls me away from you. And you need me just in case you need me. But the new job or whatever this could be will better your life. You're not taking from another person by deciding to give to yourself. And I feel that there's some kind of misconception there. And I really want you to be clear about this, that you get to decide how to spend your time. And if that other people get to decide how to spend their time as well. All right. And there is no reason for the air sign to feel guilty for doing things that better the quality of your life, that better the future that you desire to have. Someone who would place guilt around this outside of you is someone who wants to manipulate you, or someone who is afraid that you will surpass them. Maybe they're intimidated or feel threatened by something in that way, right? Or if this is inside of yourself, you feel guilty for moving on. That's something that you're going to have to find peace and acceptance with. You're not harming anyone for wanting better, wanting more, even if that takes you away from others or the path they thought you should be on, or the plans you had for yourself. You know, sometimes we change. Hello. We can feel guilty for changing. Now, what's going on? Major Arcana card number 0, the Fool. This is the very first in the major arcana. This is a huge happening here, a big giant chapter, a big giant cycle that is starting, but it's new. This is not something you've seen before. All right. So the taglines here say purity, potential, risk, innocence, and desire. I'm really drawn into the air sign to say, hey, the reason that you stepped so fully in this brand new crazy direction, okay, was because you had a strong desire to do so. So when you're feeling a little like uncertain about what you have done, Spirit is saying, you know, anchor in the reason why you did that. All right. And that should propel you, or at least help you anchor in the comfort of staying righteous in the actions that you have taken, because I really feel like you could potentially backpedal here. And Spirit is saying, don't backpedal. It feels funny because it's new, or it's different, or it's a slight challenge, right? But you grow through the challenges and you roll with the punches. And that is how you get to the greater heights that you desire to have in your life, not by reverting back to the same old whatever it is because you feel guilty for some kind of reason. Feelings come and they go. They pass if you let them. So let those feelings pass. Additional factor here from the soul's journey. I couldn't make this up if I tried, you guys. It's like the reading creates itself, you know? Spirit is in the house, and that is how it works, and it's freaking beautiful. Regret. I know that I cannot change the past. Guilt, shame, and regret. These are all very heavy, heavy emotions. All right. But this regret here, I know that I cannot change the past. We can't, man. We can't change the past, but we can change ourselves. We can change how we feel about things right now and where we're going to move forward into the future, right? We can change all of those things. And Spirit says you're stepping into something very, very new. So you've got to make some kind of peace with the past, let it go, and step in there like fully. I feel like the uncertainty that you have is going to cause the results that you're seeking to be uncertain. You know what I mean? So if you like step in a little bit nervous, then you know, your results are going to be a little bit nervous with you, you know, if you can understand that. However, if you step in confident, like I freaking got this is great, new chapter, I'm on top of it, then you're going to feel successful, be successful, and achieve success in those areas. So I really feel right now that the air signs, you yourselves are the only one that's holding you back, okay? Or potentially you could. I see that this new chapter is beckoning to you, okay? You're ready to start new. You're ready to start fresh. Oh, but wait. Oh, but wait. What about this? What about that? Don't let it pull you back in. Don't backpedal. Remember the reasons why you've done the big things that you've done. All right? That will remind you to stay fully planted where you're at, even when you feel uncertain. All right? And then you can move forward from there, which is where your growth is at. It's not mean to say no when you haven't said no before. It feels mean. I understand. I was raised in a household basically where I wasn't allowed to have any boundaries. You know what I mean? I didn't know how to enforce boundaries. So when you become an adult, maybe you don't know how to enforce boundaries. Okay. You don't realize that you don't have to always say yes. You don't have to tell people what's on your mind. You can have things inside of you that you don't share with the whole wide world, and you don't have to always commit to whatever everybody wants. Sometimes we do because we want to be loved and accepted and appreciated. Oh, well, if I stop doing all these things for all these people, then they won't love me anymore. They won't appreciate me anymore. That's all they ever need me for. Well, if you feel like your folks are using you in that way, then stop doing so goddamn much for them. And then see, see how that relationship unfolds. They will love you anyway. And when you can love yourself enough to give back to yourself, to follow your dreams, to stick to your plans, to walk towards your goals, and pat yourself on the back for living a life more authentically in alignment with yourself, your energy is going to be so magnificent that the people and the connections that you truly desire in your heart of hearts will magnetize themselves to you. It will be attracted like a moth to a flame. But it starts with you carving out time for yourself and personal preferences and space. I do feel maybe you are a little bit down on yourself for not getting to the next level in general. Like, I should be further along. I should have my degree. I should be rich, like all of those people. You know, like sometimes we can regret our decisions that have not gotten us into the life of our dreams yet. You know what I mean? So, Spirit is saying the life of your dreams is yours. All right. Regretting the past doesn't change a damn thing. Holding guilt and shame for today does dampen your energy and therefore your options via manifestation and resonance, right? So, keeping your street clean, not engaging in activities that create and encourage actual guilt and shame within you helps you to walk into the brighter spaces that you desire. Gemini, you have the 10 of Wands showing up for you here. Obviously, this person is pretty weighed down with all kinds of stuff. Okay, you can totally see this. Doesn't have a lot of help. She's got an animal here, not even a person with other hands. She's like, come here, animal. I need your help. I got to move a lot of things, and I can't really count on many people. Okay, so check this out here. Guilt, regret, shame. But this Fool card, stepping into something new and great, some kind of expansion here. But then this 10 of Wands. Gemini, I feel like you are a yes person, a people pleaser. I feel like your boundaries could stand to be strengthened, okay? Because I feel like you've been someone who has been there for so many people or so many tasks, obligations, whatever. Like, You have this whole full plate, and now you've bit off this brand new thing to this opportunity, and you're adding it in, and you're like, oh my God, I'll just keep all of this. I'll just do all of these things and keep everyone happy, and I'll just run myself into the ground. Okay, that's what I feel for Gemini. I'm sorry, Gemini, you can't do this. You can't burn that candle at both ends and expect it not to just expire. Okay, this is what Spirit wants to say. You've got to decide what's in alignment with you and the life that you desire to be living, because that's what you're creating for yourself. Okay, that's this new chapter. I'm sorry to say this, but you know in your heart of hearts that some of those other things, you've got to let them go. You know you've got to put them down, but that guilt and that shame prevents you from doing that. Oh, I feel so guilty if I have to say I can't do that anymore. I've been there for those people for however long. I always drive their kids to school, whatever, but it's out of my way now and I still do it anyway, even though it's an inconvenience. Boundaries, please. If you want your life and your time to be your own, Gemini, you need to start setting some boundaries, saying no when you don't want to, putting some of those things down, and for God's sakes, doing some of these things for yourself. You don't even have time to do anything for yourself because you're so stretched thin for everyone else. This is for you. And you feel guilty to finally take a piece of the pie for yourself. Do you hear how ridiculous this sounds? It's your time, Gemini. It is your time to be happy, and you have to grab it and take it and accept it and receive it and walk in that path, okay? You have to enforce it in your life. And that means disengaging from other things that are just too much for you at this time and shifting your focus to where you really know that it needs to be and that you want it to be. Sending you love, Gemini. Huge potential, but man, you cannot be all things for all people all the time. You got to let the past go and keep only what works for you into the future. We aren't supposed to keep everything all the time forever and ever and ever and ever and ever, right? No, we go through phases and seasons of life, and we let things go that are fading away. Gemini, I feel like you're having a hard time with that. I feel like you just are hanging on to all kinds of things, and Spirit is saying you get to pick and choose what you put down. And watch the benefit that it has on you, how you feel, and also on your life, like your pocketbook and your time schedule, like these kinds of things. But it's up to you. You can do it. Thank you. That's for Gemini. Libra. Oh, man. All right, so Libra, you got the Five of Wands here. Okay, so Five of Wands is about arguments, personality clashes, struggles, things like this. People stepping on one another to get to the top. They don't care about what happens to this guy or that guy, whatever. Competition, intimidation, people who want to put other people down, etc. Libra, I hope this isn't you. All right, I feel like most of the Libras who watch me, most of the people who watch me, come on, we're all amazing, wonderful individuals, aren't we? And we would never hurt a fly. But sometimes things happen and we accidentally are not our best selves, okay? So I do say we're not all innocent bystanders. Shit happens, man. Sometimes we show our asses. Sometimes we make mistakes. I want to say to you, Libra, I can see how maybe you've gotten in or you potentially have some kind of an argument or struggle going on, a power battle of wills, something like this going on in your life or in your household, potentially at work, okay, maybe your friendship group, who knows what this is. But I see here that you are, with this Fool card, you're wanting to start something new, or even regretting your words in this argument. That's kind of what I feel like. Oh no, I've had a clash with someone and now I'm on the outs of this, and I wish I could take that back because now I need them or I want them in my life. I feel something a little bit like this. Okay, so I want to say to you, Libras, if this is you, pause is your friend. Okay, go to the restroom, breathe deeply, think about what you want to say before you come forward to say whatever it is, because your words have power to heal or power to cause more damage. Okay, so I do want to say to you, others in your life may be having these kinds of issues. Maybe you're not the argumentative, irritable one. Maybe other people are having problems and they're coming to you like, Mom, he's doing this, they're doing that, blah, blah, blah. This could even be your pets, okay? Whatever this is, it needs your time, effort, and attention, okay? That's why it's being brought to you. So pay attention to these squeaky wheels, to these kinds of things so you can nip them in the bud before they become something else. And that is how you don't incur more guilt and shame for letting these kinds of instances fall through the cracks. Because when we let them fall through the cracks, then they just become bigger problems that show up later in our faces. All right. We can't always be the peacekeeper as well. I want to say to you, Libra, if you experience something this week that really offends you in some kind of a way, I can see how this might make you want to play nice and not say anything at all. Sweeping it under the rug, pretending you didn't notice, pretending it wasn't hurtful or offensive because you don't want to accidentally burn bridges with people who are important to you. Please speak up at least, all right? I understand that you may feel like, and I just, let's put it into perspective now. In a moment like that, it's uncomfortable for anybody to have to say, hey, you've hurt my feelings, right? For anybody to have to say that, let alone if you're a person who comes from maybe a background or a history of not having many friends. I could tell you, I did not have many friends growing up. I was a chubby child. My teeth were all messed up. I did not have many friends. So I understand that people pleasing, that it's hard to have boundaries because I feel like boundaries potentially scare friends away, right? But real friends, real family and loved ones should respect your boundaries. They should respect your honest communication. So Libra, if you feel like something has happened and you're offended, but you can't speak up, like those are not your folks. You should be able to speak up. And if that causes more of an argument, at least things are true and on the surface now. And in the future, that problem may be averted. All right, Aquarius now. Wow. Aquarius, look, you've got major arcana card number 18, the moon. The moon is about the past. It literally says, I know that I cannot change the past. Okay, so this here is about seeing the black and the white, man, looking and letting things be illuminated, just making peace with this, that, the other thing, and deciding who you are now. Where do you want to go from here? Your past does not define you. So what if you've done some things in the past? Oh man, well, when I was younger, I shoplifted. So now I don't expect anyone to, I never have good luck. Like these kinds of things can really screw you up and mess up your life patterns and your manifestations. Do you hear me? Carrying a weird ass excessive guilt over whatever broken rules from whenever that was. Like Aquarius, get straight, man. Cleanse your energy. Don't drown in the past. You'll lose today. And that's what I feel like, Aquarius. You have one really good card here. All right, the Fool. I'm going on some brand new chapter. I'm not sure if this is a good idea. It feels a little risky. I don't know how it's going to turn out. I may not even know what the future looks like. I'm just doing my best, winging it, hanging in there. I love the stars on this card, but surrounding this card, you have guilt and shame, regret, the past. I really want to say your past does not have to hold you back unless you let it. You're the one who decides. You can be a new person right now. You can be new tomorrow. If tomorrow kickboxing's the thing and you want to do that tomorrow, and then the next day you're going to be a DJ with the record skipping or whatever, like, hey man, your future is whatever you want it to be. Fuck the past and let it go. It does not make or break who you are now. I feel like you have the potential, Aquarius, to really spin on some kind of a plateaued pattern here. Okay. So you know what I'm talking about. All right. There are certain things that you know you have in your history that you just kind of feel bad for. All right. Spirit wants you to sit down in a quiet moment and take those things into your heart and lift them to God. Lift them to Spirit, God, source, creator, higher power, higher self, whoever that is for you, because that's who listens to your prayers. All right. So lift those things to God. Man, when my kids were little, I really let them down several times. God, like, please take this from me. Give that to God. Let God heal that whole energy pattern. You don't have to carry it. You can't fix it from where you're at, but God can fix it for you. So give it there and give it time and allow that to go. Oh, what about the time I really, broke someone's heart? Oh, that really weighs on me, because Spirit wants me to say to you, the reason why these things weigh on you so heavily is because it's not in resonance with who you are today. It's in the past. And in the past, you did what you had to do, whatever. But today, you would never do such a thing. Recognize this growth. Recognize that where you stand, none of that is even necessary, okay? So make peace and let it lie and give it to Spirit. And step into that fucking new pattern, new chapter that's different from anything you've ever seen before, Aquarius. Anything. That's what I have for you. And that's what I have for the air signs. Thank you for letting me read for you today. And I'm disconnecting.